to the Saving Humanity podcast. I'm excited for this episode. I've got a world-renowned behaviorist right here, Shawn Woodall, and we're here to have a great time. It is Woodall or Woodall? Woodall. I've known Shawn for a good little bit, and the reason Shawn's with us today, Shawn, the reason you're with us is for how you connect with people. I have never seen someone who can connect with people the way Shawn does. It is world class. When we work together in a setting, and just watching him communicate it's been of great value to me, and how I've learned to sort of relate to people. And I think you've got first of all, just the way you treat people is awesome, and you're somebody I want to share with the community. I think you have a lot of great value and wisdom to share with our community because of sort of how you engage with people, and just how you
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. It's the truth, and so thank you for being here, and we appreciate your energy and time and all those things. And
thank you.
how did you? I was thinking about how I want to start this, and I've got a bunch of questions here, but just even out there, I wrote down this. How did you come to this way of connecting with people? Shawn? How is your current communication in which you deal with individuals who might have behaviors, might have aggressions, and we can talk more about who you work with, and I want to talk about that. But how did your current style of communication sort of come about? Was this, I'm sure this is an evolution, but I'm sure you have some natural tendencies too. But how did this come about? I just wanted, I've kind of been curious about that myself.
I've been curious as to what questions you would ask, and
yes,
I think that's actually a good one.
Yes, sir.
I think it developed pretty much over my early years, and
sure.
So I was told early on and repeatedly that I just had a calmness about me,
okay.
And that was something that people noticed. The calmness, I don't know if it is just personality or
right.
experience or combination of the two,
right.
But there doesn't seem to be a lot of things that will stress me, and so that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't get stressed. It
right.
just means that when I do get stressed, it actually makes me focus in on trying to remain even more calm.
Okay.
And so, some stresses as a child, not really feeling kind of included in things,
okay.
Would kind of guide me towards, hey, can I join in? Can I, being
right.
very not submissive, but respectful,
right.
and wanting to say, hey, I would really like to be a part of
right.
the activity, or join in the
sure.
social
sure.
group or
yeah.
whatever. And so then I also had several things that were more related to like athletics, and I could pick up on things very quickly.
Right.
I mean, I had a I don't know what you call them, like a Halloween spook alley that
yeah.
was held by the community when I was young.
Sure.
And they had a basketball stand for little kids, and I was very little.
Right.
And so they had different lines for backing kids up based on their age, and they were giving away carameled apples for,
yeah.
making a basket.
Right.
And so I shot a basket, made it, first try, won a carameled apple, won another one at the same line. Yes. Then they decided, well, you have to move back because
okay.
We
right.
can't just run out of
right.
carameled apples.
Right.
So they moved me back step by step.
Yes.
I kept making the
Right.
baskets.
Right.
So they cut me off.
Yeah.
And so from that point, it kind of led to having a little bit hard time accepting compliments, though, too.
Okay.
So I wasn't very good at it.
Okay.
I wasn't very, it just made me feel uncomfortable
Right.
or not know what to say back. And so I would think I would make it awkward if
Right.
if I did get a compliment.
Right. Right. Yes.
And so if I did say anything, it's kind of a blank to me as to how.
So many of us, when someone, I've read this years ago about the psychology. When someone gives you a compliment, if you say like, "Oh, no," it's actually sort of a negative to them. It actually psychologically almost negatively reinforces what they said. That when someone gives you a compliment, it's really respectful to just be like, "Well, thank you," or I've been working on that. It's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
But I read that years ago, and
I've learned that since, and it took me a while to learn how to take a compliment. So,
yes,
So I'm a little bit better at it now. I just blush and go,
yes.
very kind of you to say thank you.
What do you tell yourself? And there's a whole lot, but what do you tell yourself? What's your mindset when you're in a situation that is kind of peculiar? That could be almost what do you tell yourself when you're in a situation that might be a little unsettling or dangerous? What's in your mind to sort of stay calm?
That depends on the situation, I guess. But as far as dangerous, I would say probably knowing that you have a good chance of reaching them and getting to what the main point is that they're upset about. And probably you can defuse it rather than take it head on.
Tell me more. How?
Oh, well, I think even before I got into behaviorism and studied a master's in, ABA
Sure.
treatment, I noticed that asking people questions was a really powerful tool because rather than, and I didn't learn this until later about how it actually works, but it basically hijacks the amygdala where,
Okay.
Somebody is really upset.
Yes.
And it brings them back to using their,
Yes.
decision-making skills.
Yes. Yes.
And I didn't know that was how it worked.
Right.
But then when I did find out that that's how it worked, I was like, oh, I guess I kind of lucked out that
Right.
that was working.
Right.
But it just seemed like the right thing to do
Yes.
was to, have some level of compassion for that person and go, you seem to be hurting. You seem to be mad or sad or something.
Right.
So that was kind of the driving force early on before I knew any of how they would change their mindset. So that's kind of the bottom line of how I would address that.
That's great value. Like asking questions, it actually gets an emotional person out of their amygdala part and into their more logical part of their brain, and can de-escalate a situation and so forth. And I think that in and of itself is just awesome.
It just mostly early on it just came as a natural curiosity though
Right.
too.
Right.
It was kind of went along with kind of a back and forth pattern between being very involved in sports
Mm-hmm.
and then needing personal space to kind of like just kind of recharge.
Right.
And so I would go out as far as I could, like in elementary school, I would go out
Sure.
as far out as I could into the field on the playground and just sit back and just watch people. And it was just, people were interesting.
Yes. I know you have a bit of an affinity for watching and kind of observing people. And
Yeah. And it's, it's from a distance. It doesn't even, I don't even need to hear what they're saying. It's
Right.
just their body language and all that is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The way they group together, the way they, split up,
Right.
whatever they're doing
Yes.
is interesting.
Yes. What kind of, what do you think, I guess, experiences that have really shaped you? Like what experiences have you had that have really shaped you as a behaviorist? What's been, it doesn't have to be one or two, but sort of what's been the overarching theme of experiences that you've had that sort of, helped to shape you as a behaviorist?
Well, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is that calmness that other people noticed. That was something that my wife mentioned to me, that when I had worked for the government for 25 years,
Okay.
just a regular steady job, great benefits and
Right.
things like that. I
Right.
started having some serious back problems, and the doctor told me that it was very likely that I could not carry on doing that job. And
Right.
so I was trying to figure out what I would want to do. And it was, first thing I said to my wife as kind of a joke was, I could become an accountant.
Right.
And she goes, yeah, that would be so boring.
That's funny.
And I was like, yeah, but I could make a decent living. I'm already doing a boring job.
Right.
And she said, well, you just have this kindness. And, that was, coming from her, that meant a lot because,
Right.
I had heard it before throughout my life, but
Right.
from her, it just sounded different. And for her to notice that and, really appreciate that and tell
Right.
me that that was where I should probably direct my efforts to try and find
Right.
something meaningful. I made the choice to seek out what job opportunities there were, and that had compassion and calmness and interacting with people. And so I looked into a few different areas of psychology, and ABA popped up as something that was part of how the treatment for PTSD is addressed. I guess it has something to do with the exposure therapy and gradual, rebuilding trust in, the safety that somebody feels in their environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was government already. I could potentially just do a lateral transfer and keep all my years and things like that and continue to build on that. So it seemed really practical.
Right.
Here's where things went different. I had to do an internship, right? So I finished my master's while I'm working for the government.
Yes.
Because I had financial responsibilities that had to be taken care of.
Yes.
I couldn't do the internship at the same time. And so I finished the schooling, started an internship, and lo and behold, it's with children with autism. And finding out that that's actually the main focus of where ABA treatment is directed towards.
Got it.
And not only that, but I was just amazed. I was seeing kids' lives and their families' lives just change, like within maybe even a month.
Right.
Not everything fixed, but change.
Right.
And people being so grateful, and the kids finding, the skills that they needed to actually help reduce how agitated they were on a constant basis for just either not getting some social aspect or not being able to communicate, having excellent receptive skills, but as far as expressive skills seem to lag behind far more often. And so helping them develop those expressive skills and,
Right.
Having the follow through, because that's how ABA sessions are set up, is to give enough time to follow through with an
Right.
expectation, and
Right.
always working towards being positive about it and giving them credit where credit is due,
Mm-hmm.
and then saying in a very positive way, now it looks like you could use a little bit of help in this aspect of it.
Right.
And I would love to help you, or if you feel like you can do it yourself, that is
Right.
that's really cool.
Right.
But letting them know that they were supported, and as soon as they were done with that particular task, then they had met just shortly before that kind of a preference assessment for what they wanted to earn for doing
Right.
that.
Right.
And so they're basically working towards something that they've already decided they want.
Got it.
And so you've got the motivation, that's the structure of ABA,
Right.
is kind of teaching the pattern of life and how we always have to take care of our responsibilities first, and then we gain the reward for that. And, if they haven't quite met the expectation, then we help them with it, and maybe even adjust, down a little bit,
Right.
and then bring it back up.
Right.
So, just going at their pace, and that whole process just taught me so much about how everybody is like that. It's not something that is, it's universal.
Yes.
We all have the same motivations.
Yeah.
They kind of, the types of things that we like still fit within those four main types of
Yes.
functions of behavior,
Yes.
but we're kind of complex, and we don't always just have one.
Right.
And so we might be operating at, trying to fulfill two different functions at the same time, and we have our own personalities. So we like our own specific type of attention,
Right.
or we have our own specific type of escape or access that we like.
Yes.
And so, you have to get to know that person, and that is just a very fulfilling part of the job too. It's like
Right.
you get to know these cute little kids and even teens, and now working with adults
Right.
too.
Which I know. Now, I've seen him work with adults with special needs, and he is fantastic. And that's why he's here. It's something I wanted to ask you. I was thinking about this is what advice or what would you tell someone who's going into a conversation or a situation where they're very likely going to be conflict or emotions are going to run high? What sort of advice would you tell someone in a situation like that to be able to communicate effectively and make things win-win and so forth?
Well, we work on that with kids all the time, and it's usually pretty simple things, and I would say that the concepts are probably the same.
Okay.
And that is to basically use functional communication. Functional means that you let them know right away what you want to accomplish.
Got it.
And so also having some training, because you definitely need to have learned some skills and learn some prerequisite skills. So we work in sort of a framework of scaffolding and building up associations, and,
Right.
and that leads to
Right.
a higher degree of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there is how all of us start to be able to, say, oh, I can relate to that. So being able to find something that that person can relate to would probably be
Okay.
the objective.
Got it.
So can you understand where I'm coming from? I am trying to understand where you're coming from. And so guiding children through that has taught me a lot about how to do it for myself, and taught me where I've been right before I even learned
Right.
any of the
Right.
technical jargon and
Right.
things like that. But yeah, having that come from two adults that are, feeling really strong emotions. Strong emotions lead people away from words and actions that are respectful, and
Yes.
it leads to more impulsivity. Trying to get back to calm and neutral and clear-headed thinking before you even proceed with a negotiation or compromise, or trying to
Right.
convince someone of something,
Right.
and being willing to accept their response, whether it's yes, I agree with you,
Right.
or not.
Right.
So,
Right.
So
So good. Yeah.
that's I think that ends up being satisfying, whether it goes the way you intended at first or not.